Good morning, everyone. Today I want to speak to you about something that could change the entire direction of your life, something that could light a fire in your heart and force you to rise above everything that has ever held you back. You need this. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when things get easier, but right now. Life is not waiting for you. Opportunity is not waiting for you. Your future is not waiting for you. The clock is ticking and every second you waste is gone forever. That's why you must wake up to the reality that nobody is going to hand you success. Nobody is going to push you to greatness. Nobody is going to save you. If you want to live with purpose, if you want to achieve something meaningful, if you want to reach the highest version of yourself, you must take responsibility for everything in your life, and you must take it now. Too many people are waiting for motivation, waiting for inspiration, waiting for the perfect plan or the perfect moment. Let me tell you the truth. The perfect moment will never come. The perfect plan will never appear. The only way forward is through action, through discipline, through relentless effort. You need this because life is not fair. You will be tested, you will be broken, you will be pushed down again and again. But in those moments, when everything feels like it's collapsing, you need a mindset, a drive, an inner force that refuses to quit. You need to remember that you are stronger than you think, that inside you is a warrior that has been waiting to come alive. That warrior only shows up when you decide you will not be defeated. You need this because every excuse you've told yourself, every reason you've given for not moving forward, has kept you chained to the same place. You cannot afford to live another year repeating the same mistakes, repeating the same cycles, and wondering why nothing changes. If you want change, you must demand it from yourself. You need to wake up earlier. You need to push harder. You need to take ownership of your failures and turn them into lessons. You need to look at your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. You need to look at fear, doubt, and uncertainty and say, I will not bow to you anymore. You need this because the world is full of people who gave up on themselves, who settled, who stopped fighting, who accepted less than they were capable of. But you are not them. You are capable of more. You are capable of discipline, of resilience, of sacrifice, of greatness. Every single day is a test, and every single day you have a choice. Do you stay the same, or do you rise? Do you let life control you, or do you take control of your life? Do you let fear dictate your future, or do you crush fear with relentless action? This is not about motivation that lasts for 5 minutes. This is about building a mindset that carries you for a lifetime. You need this because without it, you will drift, you will waste time, you will let your potential die in silence. But with it, with discipline, with courage, with fire, you can do anything. You can transform your life. You can inspire others. You can create a legacy that outlives you. You need this because the fight is not optional. It is mandatory. Life is war, and every day you either fight for your purpose or you surrender it. Which one will you choose? So hear me clearly, no more waiting, no more excuses, no more hesitation. Stop looking for motivation outside of yourself. It is already inside you. You just have to unleash it. Get up, get moving, get disciplined, get after it. This is your time, this is your life, and this is your chance. You need this, and if you accept it, if you embrace it, if you live it, there is nothing that can stop you. I want you to understand something that can't be sugarcoated, something that cuts straight to the truth. You need this. You need this fire inside of you, this relentless mindset that doesn't give in when life gets hard, this force that keeps you moving forward when everything around you is trying to pull you back. The very first key point that I want you to take in and absorb deep in your bones is this: you must take ownership of your life. That's the starting point, the foundation, the non-negotiable. Nothing else will work until you make this decision. Ownership means you stop blaming circumstances, stop blaming your parents, stop blaming your boss, stop blaming the economy, stop blaming the world for why you're not where you want to be. The second you give blame to someone else, you hand them your power. And if you don't own your life, you don't control your life, you cannot be a passenger on your own journey. You need to be the driver, the one who takes command, no matter how bad the conditions are. You need this ownership because life will always give you reasons to quit, reasons to complain, reasons to feel sorry for yourself. And if you buy into that mindset, you'll stay stuck forever. Let me remind you, the people who rise above, the people who achieve greatness, the people who live with power and impact, they are not the ones with perfect lives. They are the ones who said, it doesn't matter what happened to me, it matters what I do now. You need this ability to stop waiting for life to get easy, because life will never get easy. What happens instead is that you get stronger, you get sharper, you get tougher, but that toughness only comes when you take ownership and step into the fight. Think about this. Every single day, you are faced with two choices. You can choose comfort, or you can choose growth. Comfort will give you temporary relief, but growth will give you lasting transformation. Comfort will make today feel good, but growth will make tomorrow unstoppable. But here's the catch. Growth demands responsibility. It demands that you stop pointing fingers and start holding up a mirror. When you fail, it's not someone else's fault, it's on you. When you succeed, it's because you took action, you built discipline, you refused to quit. That mindset is rare because most people don't want the burden of responsibility. But you need this burden because hidden inside it is your freedom. When you take ownership, you stop waiting for luck. You stop waiting for someone else to rescue you. You stop waiting for motivation. You realize that everything is in your control. The effort, the discipline, the resilience, the consistency. You might not control every event in your life, but you always control your response, and that response determines your future. This is why so many people stay stuck. They're waiting for conditions to be perfect. They think when they have more money, they'll get disciplined. When they feel more confident, they'll take action. When life gets easier, they'll start. That's a trap. You cannot wait for motivation to come knocking, because it won't. You must move even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when fear is screaming in your ear. You need this relentless action, because it builds momentum, and momentum is the lifeblood of success. Once you start moving, once you commit to action, you build confidence. And confidence is not built from talking or hoping, it is built from doing. Every workout you finish, every task you complete, every fear you face, every excuse you kill, that's how you build confidence. That's how you grow. That's how you transform. You need this ownership and action because without it, you'll always be at the mercy of excuses. And excuses sound good. They always do. They feel comforting in the moment, but they destroy your future. You say you're tired, so you skip the workout. You say you're not ready, so you delay starting that project. You say you don't have time, so you never chase that dream. But the truth is this, you had the time, you just didn't make it. You had the chance, you just didn't take it. You had the opportunity, but you let fear talk you out of it. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves to justify quitting, but quitting never leads to peace. Quitting only leads to regret, and regret will weigh more than any struggle you face today. That's why you must stop feeding yourself lies. You must look yourself in the mirror and say, it's on me, my life, my results, my choices, they are all on me. That is ownership. And once you embrace it, everything changes. You need this because ownership transforms how you see failure. When you own your life, failure isn't the end, it's feedback, it's data, it's a lesson carved into your story that makes you sharper, stronger, smarter. Failure no longer scares you because you know it's part of the process. Think about a warrior training for battle. Every mistake in training sharpens them. Every bruise, every fall, every missed strike, it all makes them more prepared for the real fight. That's how life works. If you own your mistakes, you learn from them. But if you deny them, if you blame others, you never grow. Ownership keeps you in the fight. Ownership makes you unstoppable. Now let me tell you why this is so powerful. When you live with ownership, you stop being a victim. The victim mindset says, why is this happening to me? The ownership mindset says, this is happening, and I will respond. Victims wait, owners act. Victims complain, owners build. Victims get stuck, owners move forward. You need this because the world is full of victims who gave up on themselves, who surrendered to life's difficulties, who accepted mediocrity. But you are not here to be average. You are here to rise, to fight, to conquer, to build a life that matters. And you cannot do that without ownership. Ownership also demands discipline, and discipline is freedom. Discipline is the ability to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the grind, the daily battle, the small choices stacked day after day that lead to greatness. Discipline is waking up when the alarm goes off, instead of hitting snooze. Discipline is choosing the hard path, the uncomfortable path, the path of growth when everyone else is chasing comfort. Discipline is the weapon that separates winners from losers, leaders from followers, the strong from the weak. And discipline is born from ownership. When you own your life, you don't wait for someone to push you. You push yourself. You need this because there will be days when you feel broken, when you feel empty, when you feel like nothing is working. And in those moments, ownership and discipline will carry you. They will remind you that even if life knocks you down, you are still in control of how you get back up. That even if you lose today, you can win tomorrow, but only if you keep moving. That even if you fall short, you are still ahead of where you started because you chose to act. Ownership gives you that perspective, that resilience, that inner strength. Ownership is not just an idea, it is the foundation of everything else. You need this mindset because it will change how you live, how you work, how you train, how you fight, how you lead. It will change how you see yourself. You will no longer see yourself as weak, but as capable. You will no longer see problems as walls, but as challenges to break through. You will no longer see pain as punishment, but as growth. Ownership shifts your entire reality, and once you see life through this lens, you will never go back. So stop waiting, stop blaming, stop living as if you have forever. You don't. The clock is ticking and your time is now. You need this ownership because it is the gateway to everything you want. Success, strength, freedom, peace. It all starts with this. Take it, live it, own your life, and there is nothing that can stop you. Most people avoid the truth that separates the strong from the weak, the disciplined from the undisciplined, the driven from the lost, and that truth is that life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you earn, and the only way to earn it is by taking control of your mind, your actions and your habits, every single day. You need this reminder, because too many times we forget that greatness doesn't show up when things are easy. It reveals itself when you are pushed to the edge, when you feel like giving up, when the pain is unbearable, when you don't want to wake up early, when you don't want to train, when you don't want to grind, and yet you still do it. That is where strength is built. That is where character is forged. And this is what Jocko Willink means when he talks about discipline, about ownership, about getting after it. Because the truth is, if you want to live a life of meaning, if you want to build a legacy, if you want to walk into the future with pride and power, then you need to stop waiting for motivation to show up and start building the habits that make you unstoppable. Think about it. How many times have you said to yourself, "I'll start tomorrow. I'll try when I feel better. I'll wait until I'm ready"? That thinking is what kills dreams. That thinking is what wastes years. That thinking is the enemy of growth. Because guess what? You will never be fully ready. You will never have the perfect moment. You will never have the ideal conditions. The only time you have is now, and the only way you change your life is by acting now. You need this truth to sink in. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to push you harder than you push yourself. No one is going to hold you accountable the way you must hold yourself accountable. And if you don't learn how to take responsibility, then you will live your life in the shadows, watching other people take the rewards that you could have had if you had just shown the courage to step up. When Jocko says discipline equals freedom, he's not speaking in riddles. He is giving you the formula for success. Discipline is the ability to control your impulses, to stay on task, to keep grinding when your body screams for comfort. And when you live with discipline, you create freedom, because freedom is earned, not given. Freedom is the ability to live on your terms, to have control of your health, your career, your future. But discipline is the price you must pay. You need this because the world around you will constantly tempt you with shortcuts, with excuses, with comfort, with distraction, and if you fall into those traps, you will lose years of your life without even realizing it. How many times have you scrolled mindlessly on your phone, wasted hours that could have been invested in building a skill, improving your body, strengthening your mind, working toward your dream? That is the battlefield of today's world. It's not just in war zones, it's in your daily choices. Every day is a battle against laziness, against weakness, against the part of you that wants to quit, and if you don't fight it, you lose. But if you fight and you win, even small battles every day, you become stronger, more resilient, and more dangerous in the best way possible. You need this because the greatest enemy is not outside, it's inside. Your excuses, your doubts, your fears, your procrastination, they are what break you, not the world. And once you conquer yourself, no one else can stop you. How do you start? You start small, but you stay consistent. You wake up earlier than you want to. You push yourself in the gym harder than you think you can. You study when others are watching TV. You keep promises to yourself even when no one is watching. That is where power comes from, those small, consistent acts of discipline. You need this because you cannot build confidence by lying to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and you don't, you weaken your own mind. You tell yourself subconsciously that you are unreliable, and when that happens, your belief in yourself dies. But when you do what you say, even in small things, your mind begins to trust you, your confidence grows, your strength multiplies, and you become unstoppable. That is why when Jocko talks about getting after it, he doesn't mean waiting for the right opportunity. He means making every opportunity right by your relentless effort, by your refusal to quit, by your decision to keep going no matter how hard it gets. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. Fatigue will fade, but regret stays with you for life. You need this because at some point life will test you, life will break you down, life will throw storms at you, and in those moments you will not rise to the occasion. You will fall to the level of your training, your discipline, your habits. If your foundation is weak, you will crumble. But if your foundation is strong, if you have been training yourself to stay disciplined every single day, then when life hits, you will not break, you will rise. Now let me tell you this, no one is immune to hardship. Even the strongest warriors, even the greatest leaders, even Jocko himself has faced moments of pain, loss, and failure. But the difference between those who stay broken and those who rise is mindset. You need this mindset that says good. When something bad happens, you say good. Now I have a chance to get stronger. When you fail, you say good. Now I know what doesn't work. When life knocks you down, you say good. Now I get to prove how strong I really am. That is how you turn setbacks into strength. That is how you turn pain into power. That is how you stop being a victim and start being a warrior. You need this because the world doesn't care about your excuses. The world doesn't stop because you're tired. The world doesn't bend because you don't feel like trying. The world keeps moving, and if you want to keep up, if you want to dominate, if you want to achieve greatness, then you must push through. You must stay disciplined. You must keep grinding when everyone else quits. That is what separates the successful from the average. The successful don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they're finished. And here's the conclusion. You need this truth burned into your mind, because if you remember nothing else, remember this: you are stronger than you think, but you will never discover it by staying comfortable. You will only find it by pushing yourself through pain, through doubt, through fear. Every single day is a chance to train your body, sharpen your mind, and build your spirit. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't hope for luck. Don't sit back and wish. Get up, move forward, and get after it.
That's the only way you will ever build a life worth living. That's the only way you become unstoppable. You need this because this is the truth. Discipline, ownership, and relentless action are the keys to victory. And if you want to win, then don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Step into the fight and get after it today.